Today we were doing some Dragonheir Silent Gods content, and we'll be looking at one of the exclusive heroes, Flora. For those of you who don't know, Flora is one of the exclusive champions that are in the game, and what I mean by exclusive is that she has an artifact that is strictly for her, and you can see it says Flora's exclusive. Luckily I did get some dupes for her so I could pick up this artifact, and I love the design of the champion. She's also in the story as the witch, and the design is just amazing. The game overall feels like they've really put a lot of effort in the design. So let's talk about her. So one of the things she brings is the attack aura increases all ally attack by 30% in all battles, which is great because we are not limited by which content we are doing. We can always use this aura. Her passive, which is every time an ally launches a successful wild, the familiar will auto-unleash a fireball at the ally's current target, dealing 120% of the attack fire damage. And then her battle skill, which is the familiar unleashes 2 fireballs at the enemy. And this is the most interesting part of her kit, and what allows her to do a lot of damage in PvE situations is that, not this first part, but it's the fire whirlpool. So when the fire whirlpool is active, the target takes additional derived fire damage. Now this does not say enlightenment, but enlightenment does affect this derived damage by a significant amount. So what you want is to build her with a lot of attack and a lot of enlightenment, and the set that we chose for her, first the artifact, her exclusive, which allows that whenever an ally initiates a wild check, triggers Flora counteract henchmen regardless of the result of the check. So if you fail, or if you have a success on that wild, the salamander that is next to her will always attack. And she also gets that damage, derived damage gains 15% damage bonus, and it stacks up to 20 stacks, which is pretty insane, right? It's a pretty cool artifact. I think out of all the exclusives, Havita is probably the best for PvP, and hers is probably one of the best for PvE. I was lucky enough to have all the exclusives, so I can test them out up, and I will showcase them sometime later. So talking about her gear, the gear that you want on her is the Alabaster King Knight set, which at a 3 set bonus, whenever the wearer's ultimate skill is fully recharged, it gains a 30% damage bonus. So this is why we want the set on her, is because whenever that whirlpool takes effect, the derived damage bonus is also affected by this. And I did some testing with 2 sets. So what I mean is, like, getting, instead of just 1 set bonus, you get 2 separate set bonuses, but that did less damage. So we went with 3-piece set. It would be great if with the 4th piece you could get like a 2-piece set and the 3-piece bonus, but unfortunately that's not currently in the game. Hopefully in the season 1 they add it. For the ruin, we went with an enlightenment ruin. Could have been better with more attack percentage rolls, and an attack negative ruin. This one is decent. I would have preferred it if it went to enlightenment, but attack speed doesn't hurt either, just because we reduced that attack interval by around 40 seconds, so she's gonna hit every 2.1 seconds. And where you typically would see some massive results is in the Temporal Vortex. So currently we are fighting the level 120, and the team that we were going to use is going to be one of the max damage. This is the top team for this. The more dupes you have, the more lucky you are with Flora, the higher your damage is going to be, simply because inspiration works great in this game. Actually, before we start this, let's actually talk about the inspiration that we get from her dupes. So we go to inspiration. The hero gains 20% damage bonus when dealing damage to enemy with a shield. This is not going to be affected in Vortex, but we will still get this 8% boost, which is nice to have. The second one does affect the Vortex. So the hero gains 15% damage bonus when the HP is higher than 85%. So initially when we start, not in the later stages, but for most of the time in the Vortex, we should be able to get that 15% damage bonus, and that 8% doesn't hurt. This one, the crit can raise the damage, but it's not going to affect the derived damage, which is what we are looking for in Flora. So this is okay. This one is pretty massive. Would love to add more troops to get the 30% attack. And the first ultimate skill, this is also okay. Yeah, so I think the main ones are like these two that you really want to get to do maximum damage on Vortex. So let's jump right back. So the team, she does need a team. She's not good by herself, but when you pair her up with wild units, the more the better. Simply because once that Whirlpool takes effect, we want maximum amount of damage. We want her to trigger that derived damage a lot of times. So our first unit in this comp is going to be Kairosos. We have the Witch's Remain artifact on him to get the defense down. It's a 60% chance. One thing weird is that if we go to upgrade, and if I check the epic one, which is the Crown of the Unclean, it has a 75% chance of inflicting the defense penalty. So this is more consistent. I haven't tested which one would overall deal more damage, but since this is a defense penalty too, I would assume that even if with the 15% loss of chance, we should still do a higher damage. So we have the Witch's Remain artifact. We also have the 3 Heirs emblem set on him, and what we want is that the 3-piece effect after the wear unleashes the ultimate skill, all allies obtain 15% extra attack for 10 seconds. And we want this ultimate to hit right about the same time as Flora's ultimate, to get both the defense down, which is going to be the 10% bonus, and the set bonus from Kairosos. Currently he has much higher skill haste than Flora. Flora has no skill haste, as you saw, but I do have around 38 skill haste on him. So during the fight you will see me manualing his ultimate a bit, just because I want to get that maximum damage in. For the runes, I went with defense runes. I want better runes. This is pretty bad. An HP negative rune. Would have liked to get more skill haste, but it doesn't really matter in this case. Just maximizing his HP in most cases. Defense and HP. I put an HP chest, HP gloves on him, and you need about decent accuracy for the Vortex. The next up is going to be Asilia. I've kept her HP less than Kairosos because he's going to be the one who will take the, what was the skill? Call of Lightning, which is a single target and it hits pretty hard, and it targets the maximum HP guy of your on your team. So I don't want this skill to hit Asilia, so I've kept Asilia's HP lower than Kairosos. On Asilia we have the Ancestral Protection, which 3-piece bonus is that they take 10% of the damage for all allies. So our allies get reduced damage, which is allowing us to prolong that fight, and it also makes sense because if the Call of Lightning is going on Kairosos, we make sure that Asilia absorbs 10% of the damage. And we have the Solar King's Horn as the artifact for her, which on Asilia is pretty good because this will always stack up to 3 times whenever she ults. So we want a lot of skill haste, enlightenment on her, and she is one of the best healers in the game. So if you look at most of the battle skills of the top healers, such as Jillian or let it be Sylvester, on their battle skill it's usually a single target heal. They will heal the lowest HP ally, but Asilia has reduced AoE, I call it, when the shape is diamond shape, but I call it a reduced AoE, and everybody in that in the styles will get healed up to 10% of their max HP and 1200 enlightenment. So you do want to have a lot of enlightenment on her. And same with her ultimate, she dispels all debuffs, which alone is pretty good. But on top of that, she then heals all allies by 1.5% of the target max HP and 400% enlightenment. And this happens every half a second for 5 seconds, so it looks pretty small, but it is pretty massive because it will be 15% and 4000 enlightenment, which is still pretty good. I think it's probably one of the highest enlightenment bonuses that a champion gets for healing. Maybe we can check that with Sylvester. So Sylvester has 1000% for his ultimate. And Jillian, I'd never even leveled her up. So Jillian gets 3500, so it's pretty massive compared to a lot of other healers. Then to pair as our first file unit is Donalanan, and for her we have the Dawn Pipe Organ as the artifact. This artifact allows the ranged heroes in the team to get 10% of Donalanan attack, which is going to be roughly like 5.4k. So it would be 540 attack. So both our Flora and Eric will gain 540 attack due to this artifact. For her, we have the Gambler set on, which has a 30% chance to deal derived damage, which is going to be the 5% of target HP. And I'll just try to maximize whatever attack I can on her. Could have had better rolls on the ruins, but yeah, ruin rolls are hard to come by. Yeah, no attack on either one of these pieces, which is just sad. And the last but not least is Eric, which you do get for completing the Purple Dragon for free. And what we have on him is the Ring of the Scarlet Sorceress, so his skills gain 30% damage bonus each time they have a successful wild. And Eric goes wild a lot because it increases the success rate 5% every time an ally performs a successful wild, and it stacks up to 14 stacks, so it's pretty massive. It's like 70%. But his ultimate actually hits pretty hard, so it's 5 meteorites that deal 150% attack. And this we want basically all these ultimates. These are all multi-target ultimates, and the reason is that Flora's passive will come into play whenever that whirlpool takes effect. So you do more damage simply because of the amount of hits that are happening at that time. For him, we have also the Gambler set, which has again a 30% chance to deal derived damage, and we've prioritized attack, crit rate, crit damage, so it's a proper DPS set. Could have had a better attack percentages, but I don't know, it seems like my account is rigged or something. I hardly get any attack percentages. We have a pretty good crit damage with double crit rate roll. Would have loved to see attack percentage on it, but this is almost perfect. One crit damage roll would have been pretty great, but we have him at 259 crit damage and 77% crit rate, and he does get 10% from his inspiration as well, so 87% crit rate, so he's going to be critting a lot. And we're going to use the attack aura from Flora, so let's jump into the fight and I'll showcase it. One thing that I want to say is that Kairos' ultimate we are going to manual from time to time, not the first one, but after that, just because he has that skill haste, and we want to make sure that his ultimate is at the same time as Flora to get all the stat bonuses that we need. So as you can see, first cycle in, and she's dealing about 73% of the damage. So first 2 cycle I think he can go on by himself, that's not an issue. Great, we got that defense down, which is what we want. And these multi-hits will help us stack that drive damage, which reaches close to 300k. I think at 298k is what I see usually. But now I'll just manual this one right now. So this is just to, it may not seem a lot, but as if I let the run go on auto, like his ultimate hits a lot earlier than Flora's, and it just breaks the synergy of the set and Flora's verbal effect. So just for that, I typically manual it if I have to hard try. Usually I'm not hard trying because on my server nobody else is running this team. I know that server 1 is filled with people running this team, so good luck to them. But this is why like this team does so much damage. It's because of that verbal effect. And we're already at like 20 million. We have done our 1 key. Oh, that was a bit too early. But our 15 million damage cap has been reached. Now we're just trying to get that Vortex ranking, see how high we can go. I'm gonna let this play out and I'll see you at the end. So as you can see, that Call of Lightning killed off our Kairosos, which means the run is just about to end. So we did pretty good. We reached about 90 million. I think could we get 91? Come on, Eric. Oh no. Oh no, Eric. But we got close to 91 million. And as you can see, the damage from Flora is going to be close to 75%, which is pretty massive in this run. So 73.5 was a pretty massive difference in the damage from everybody else. So if you're thinking about running this comp without Flora, yeah, you just subtract the 70 million damage from her. It's pretty insane how much damage she can do, and this is what she is good for in most PvE content. And oh, did I forget to save? Never mind. So, but this server doesn't really have that many damage dealer. We got 10 million from a poison comp, frost comp, so I can probably run this again later. As far as PvP goes, yeah, she is not the very best of it. So let me actually go to PvP. So in PvP, thankfully I have one refill left. Let me try to find. The problem is that I've reached a rank and I see people from bronze and copper. So it's not going to be an actual test, but one of the reasons that she doesn't do well is all her skills are single target. And the synergy that Frost has in PvP, yeah, the Wild team cannot keep up with it. So we couldn't find a decent opponent. I mean, I can try to fight this one, but it's not going to be a proper test, just because we're going to be beating them pretty easily. But in PvE, we can pretty much go any dungeon, and for example, Venom, at the end of the day, she destroys it completely, and you will see what I mean. So this is the same comp that I ran. I can replace him with a Huldorg, which I think if I do, yeah, the synergy won't be there with him, since this is AoE and Huldorg does his ultimate in a 3-tile range. So if I place him in the same spot, it's gonna miss the harpy completely. So let's try this. So if we get the defense down, you're just gonna see like the amount of damage. This is with no food, and we lost our Acelia, which doesn't matter, but the damage is just so quick that we won't even care for it. As you can see, she's dead. So it's pretty insane how quickly we are able to beat it, and I've been able to beat it at 12 seconds with some decent RNG. Why can't I get good pieces from this? I don't need this. Alright, so as you can see, like even in a PvE situation with Venom, she works great. Even though we lost our champion, it was rather quick. Now jumping into the Grave of Curse. Let me just open this thing, it's easier this way. Oh, we got the Iron Ore region, so let's pick that up. This one I haven't used the Steam Hair before, or have I? Seems like I have. But in this one, since it's only one target, we can change it to Huldorg, who actually has faster ult. You can grab this thing from him. And there we go. We can place it like this, so everybody gets the heals from Acelia. He's going to do, so those of you who don't know, Huldorg is a very good support. One thing that he has is pretty high damage for a support unit, which is 650% of the attack, and it happens in this range. And he's gonna put an accuracy penalty and things like that, but we are not really looking for it. In most cases, this boss should die before he even gets to his ultimate, provided we deal that defense down. But there you go. And that should kill it. There you go. So the damage from Flora once again is going to be pretty massive. This is what allows us. Oh, that's actually a pretty good piece. We're gonna keep that. We're gonna sell the rest, and 65% of the damage coming from one unit is pretty staggering. So if you want to build a team around her, you can probably include more supports if you're struggling with damage from your wild units. But one thing in this team to know, is actually more free to be play friendly than it seems. It may seem a joke, but if you're lucky enough to pull a Flora, Eric is given for free, and Tonalanan is an epic which sooner or later you may pull. And if you don't pull her, you have options like Felicity, if I can find her, who is also an amazing wild unit. In the first Vortex team, you don't really need Kairosos. You can pretty much bring Felicity and you do insane amount of damage because you have another wild unit to trigger that Whirlpool after effect. And then you have amazing epics here. Brody, Dane, both are pretty amazing as supports to bring into a dungeon with you. So let's move on to the next dungeon. Where are we? So let's take it out to Grave of Rot. I don't think I have used this team in Grave of Rot, but we can definitely try. Yeah, I haven't used this one, so let's just bring them back. It's been a while since I farmed Grave of Rot. So let's bring her here. Acelia can be our main. We can reduce the accuracy, and Eric. If we place here, it should heal. Right. Yep. Alright. Same time. Hopefully we get that defense down. We can increase the time further with some food, but let's see how it goes. Oh yeah. Yep. So before the boss reaches his ultimate, we completely destroyed it. 16 second once again. This is trash. And okay, this has accuracy on it, but let's keep it for now. So all the epic pieces. Again, the damage from Flora, pretty amazing. If you are at the end game level where you have a lot of damage gear, you could do this thing without these two. You just need somebody who can ultimate as quickly as Flora or just quicker. So get that, because the damage from the support units is not that high anyways, so you're not missing out on anything, and you're going to kill the boss before he even gets to his ultimate, so you're mostly secure. Let's get some bread and let's take her to Heretical Ruins, and I think I've tried this before. This is going to be again the same story. We are just going to walk over this content with this team. So we didn't land the defense down, so obviously we're going to take some time, and this is the position that there may be a chance that it will actually be able to spawn the two, but no. The damage from Flora is just insane. So we got an alignment, no skill haste. I'm gonna roll it to 4, see if we do get it. I can probably use it on Acelia. So 70% of the damage from her. Yep. And the most difficult dungeon. the Ancient Battlefield. It's probably one of the most challenging ones just because the boss deals insane amount of damage. For this fight we need Kairosos, because if we don't have that shield, and I've tried it with Huldork, he's gonna eat us alive. This boss is crazy difficult to deal with, just because of the damage that he does. So in this fight, Eric is going to take the stun, and simply because he can survive. I don't want Flora to take the stun. And what's gonna happen is, in that 10-second duration of the whirlpool, he's still going to get his ultimate back. And this team will not work if we don't land that defense down, or the defense penalty as it's called in this game. So there you go, Eric takes the stun, he survives. Kairosos does his thing, and we're gonna fail. Yeah, we're not going to have. He has insane amount of damage, and he has a lot of defense. So we take him down to 75%, and it's, yeah, this is not gonna work. So like I said, this one is the most difficult dungeon. I typically don't run this team on this boss, but when that defense down does happen, this is the fastest team for this thing. And this is going to be the fastest team for all PvE content, simply because of Flora. That one champion is basically carrying this wild team, so this is another fail. We don't have a defense down. It's a 60% chance. Hopefully we land another time. Alright, final try. Come on. Land that defense down. Third time's the charm. Oh, there you go. And now you will see that how quickly his HP drops once Eric goes. As you can see, he's dead. So that's the difference between a defense down, and because this boss has insane amount of defense. So that's actually a pretty good piece if we roll skill haste. I'm gonna see if we can get skill haste on those pieces. So all PvE content except for the flame domain, you can use this team and pretty much just go through the content. I've used it on green dragon, I've used it on the purple dragon, and it goes pretty fast usually, just because the Kairosos has survivability, attack down, AoE attack down, and he brings in shields. We are able to survive. But yeah, thanks again for watching the video. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about it.